Live to Andrea Nicolas. And Andrea, health authorities have just given an update.
That's right, Rosanna, and the Chief Medical Officer is very concerned. This worrying cluster at the airport is continuing to grow, with 4 new cases overnight, 1 more baggage handler and 3 secondary cases. It has authorities stressing to anyone who's visited the airport in the past 14 days and is showing symptoms to self-isolate immediately and to get in touch for a test. These are among 18 new cases overnight, including a student from Henley High. That school's been shut down immediately and is undergoing forensic cleaning right as we speak. Now, 2 chemist workers are also among the state's positive cases, one from Discount Chemist Outlet at the Brickworks, the other from National Pharmacies at Findon. That worker's been linked to the Adelaide Airport cluster. 15 of their colleagues are in isolation and are waiting to be tested. National Pharmacies says the store's been forensically cleaned and that members have been notified by email. But this morning, many customers were distressed. They weren't told about the case as they walked through the door.
Of course I'm aware. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. If I knew that, I didn't come here.
Should have been actually on the door before you even walked in.
The store has been cleaned. It is pristine. It's probably cleaner than any other supermarket that you go in because it's been forensically cleaned. We've got all new staff members from other stores in there.
She says there's no risk to customers entering the store, but Rosanna, it's a nervous time. We've just learned there are now 7 people in ICU, including 5 who are fighting for their lives.
Andrea Nicolas is there, and Andrea, what's the latest?
Well, Mike, the situation has just got really serious here. We're just between Lobethal, just over the hill, where the front is coming through and heading towards Mount Torrens. We've been told it's time for us to bunker down, find a solid structure as the front passes through. Now, it's currently heading in a westerly direction towards Charleston. The westerly wind's blowing it towards Charleston, but a southerly wind change is coming through, and that's what is pushing it towards Mount Torrens. Now, residents in the areas of Mount Torrens, Gummaraka and Birdwood have been told to enact their bushfire survival plans. Either they decide to evacuate or stay and fight, but now is the time to make that decision. The residents here on this Kenton Valley property have decided to stay and fight. They've moved their animals closer to the home. They've got the sprinklers going. They have lost power, but they know that they're in it for the long haul. They say they were here for the Samson Flat fire and they managed to protect their home. They hope that they can do this again, but as the front comes over that hill, that fire will move very quickly and there's only one road to get out, Mike. A world away from Minneapolis, where George Floyd died in custody, thousands of South Australians flooded Adelaide CBD today demanding justice.
Black Lives Matters, yesterday, today, tomorrow and always. Every day!
In Victoria Square, a sea of red, yellow and black made it clear this protest was as much about the prejudice on our own soil. Aboriginal speakers were vocal about the racism they experience here.
Our voices will no longer be silenced.
Many wore T-shirts highlighting the 432 Indigenous deaths in custody with no convictions. Representatives from our African community, including hip-hop artist Diaspora, spelled out to the diverse crowd their take on racism.
When I succeed, I'm Australian, but when I fail, I'm African. That's what racism is.
Any hostility was isolated. Most protesters here were grateful to have a special exemption from COVID-19 restrictions, so today's rally could go ahead.
I'd also like to say thank you to the police commissioner for allowing us to have this march today. Okay.
While there wasn't much in the way of social distancing, the majority of the crowd wore face masks and took advantage of free hand sanitizer. The pandemic was often used to make a point.
The black virus is coming for you.
Then, after 2 hours of heartfelt speeches, a powerful picture of solidarity. Thousands of protesters took their voices to the street, shutting down King William Street as they marched.
Never seen anything like this before, where black and white have come together.
I hope that this is a big step towards change today.
I hope it is.
Organisers say it took the death of a black man in the US to bring thousands of South Australians here today. They're urging the same people to keep showing up for Indigenous Australians over deaths in custody and racism right here.
This is beautiful. This is what we should have every single Aboriginal rally. We've been waiting for you fellas to step up.
Adamant this protest won't be the last. Andrea Nicolas, 7 News.
Andrea joins us live now, and Andrea, police have praised the crowd for their good behaviour.
That's right, Rosanna. Given the hostility seen in overseas protests, police here are thankful today. In a crowd of more than 5,000 people, there was no violence and no arrests. They say protesters were well behaved in what was a passionate but peaceful rally. Interactions between the crowd and police were overwhelmingly positive.
We haven't seen any incidents of concern. There were no arrests, no injuries, and people had a chance to have their say.
He's also thanked the wider community with a big section of the CBD shut down for part of the day. Rosanna?